So let's talk about generative AI. It's a term that has just exploded, right? It's everywhere. It's changing how we work, how we create, and even just how we talk about technology. It honestly feels like it came out of nowhere and is now moving at light speed. So in this explainer, we're going to pull back the curtain. We're going to look at its explosive start, really understand the engine that makes it all run, and figure out why this is such a massive shift. Let's dive in.
Okay, first up, we have to get a handle on just how fast this all happened. This wasn't some slow, gradual thing. It was a genuine explosion in the public consciousness. This was a real tipping point, where this pretty niche tech that lived in academia suddenly became a global phenomenon.
And wow, nothing captures that moment better than this chart right here. This is Google Trends data for generative AI. You can see, for months and months, the interest is, well, that's pretty much a flat line. And then, at the end of 2022, boom, it just shoots straight up into the stratosphere. That's not just a line on a graph, you know? That is the visual footprint of a revolution going mainstream.
Now, of course, with that explosion in interest came a tidal wave of new jargon and acronyms. It can really feel like you need a whole new dictionary just to keep up with the conversation. But don't worry, that's exactly what we're going to tackle next. Let's start decoding some of these buzzwords.
You've probably seen these terms floating around everywhere. LLMs, that's large language models, they're kind of the foundational brains of the operation, like GPT-4. Chatbots are the friendly interfaces that let us actually talk to them. Then you've got RAG, which is a cool technique to get them to use your own documents for answers. Agents are AIs that can actually do things and complete tasks for you. And of course, the big ones, image and video generation, and the, let's say, controversial deepfakes. They might seem like totally separate things, but they're all interconnected pieces of this wild new AI ecosystem.
And I know, this web of concepts looks really complex, right? But believe it or not, a single key unlocked it for the entire world. There was one tool that made all this abstract tech feel real and personal for millions of people, and it was the catalyst for that crazy growth we just saw.
And that tool, you guessed it, was ChatGPT. It was the breakthrough. It took all of that complex theory and wrapped it up in something so simple, anyone could use it, a chat window. It just fundamentally changed our relationship with artificial intelligence overnight.
You know, when OpenAI released it back in November 2022, it wasn't the first large language model out there, not at all, but its accessibility, the fact that anyone could just use it, and its weirdly human-like way of talking, that's what made it an instant global phenomenon. It sparked a level of public fascination that nobody had ever seen before.
In fact, it reached 1 million users with a speed that it completely shattered every record for a new tech product. Just let that sink in for a second. 1 million users. How long do you think that took? A year? Maybe 6 months? Take a guess.
Okay, check this out. It took Netflix 3.5 years to get to 1 million users. Instagram, which felt like a viral explosion at the time, did it in 2.5 months. ChatGPT got there in 5 days. 5. That isn't just fast growth, that's a paradigm shift. It's a shockwave.
And the impact was immediate and it was profound. This wasn't just another cool app on your phone. It was a completely new way to interact with information. It forced all of us to start asking these really deep questions about creativity, our jobs, education, and, the very nature of what intelligence even is.
And all of a sudden, everyone was debating these huge questions. Is this thing actually thinking? Where is it getting all this information? The conversation quickly shifted from just being amazed at what it could do to being intensely curious about how it was all working.
And the pace of innovation has just been relentless. In its first year alone, ChatGPT went from just being a text tool to this multimodal powerhouse. You got the upgrade to GPT-4, then they added plugins and Bing integration, then DALL-E for making images, and finally it could see and hear. But this incredible speed isn't just about clever software. None of it would be possible without a very specific kind of hardware humming away behind the scenes.
So that brings us to the engine room powering this entire revolution, the hardware. And in the world of AI, the most important piece of the puzzle has become the graphics processing unit, or GPU. They are, without a doubt, the new digital gold. So what makes GPUs so special? This slide shows it perfectly. On the left, you've got a CPU, the traditional brain of a computer. Think of it like a brilliant professor with a few powerful cores, designed to do tasks one after another, super fast. On the right, that's a GPU. It's more like an army of thousands of students, each with a simpler core.
It's not built for one task at a time. It's built for parallel processing, doing thousands of calculations all at the same time.
And this ability to work in parallel, that is the absolute secret sauce for AI. Training these huge models means doing billions of simple math problems all at once. A GPU's design gives it massive throughput to just chew through gigantic datasets, and it lowers the latency, which is basically the annoying delay between when you ask a question and when you get an answer.
And if you want proof, I mean real proof of how important GPUs are, just follow the money. This chart shows the market cap of NVIDIA, the company that dominates the GPU market. 5 years ago, they're an $89 billion company. Today, driven almost entirely by the insane demand for AI, their market cap has soared past $1.7 trillion. The economics tell the whole story.
Okay, so we've seen the explosion, we've decoded the jargon, and we've even looked under the hood. The final question is, where do you fit into all this? So let's talk about how you can go from just being an observer to being a builder in this new world. This is your path to mastery.
The great news is that the path to mastering this stuff is a really clear, hands-on journey. It starts with understanding the main ideas, right? Then you see them in action with demos, you check your knowledge to make sure it's sinking in, and then, and this is the most important part, you start building things yourself in labs and structured courses.
And here's the best part. You do not need to be a math genius to do this. The focus is on practical, applied knowledge. It's all about understanding what these tools can do and how you can actually use them, not getting lost in super complex theoretical proofs. It's really about engineering, not abstract math.
And let's be crystal clear, this is no longer just some niche skill for coders. It's becoming absolutely essential. Whether you're a student about to start your career or a professional in pretty much any industry, understanding the power and also the limits of these tools is now vital to stay competitive. We are right in the middle of a fundamental shift in how we create, how we innovate, and how we solve problems. The tools are more powerful and easier to get your hands on than ever before. So, as we wrap up, I'll just leave you with this one thought. The tools of creation have changed. The only question left is, what will you build?